Have you ever been told your dream was stupid? Not just impractical, not just risky, stupid. By the people who were supposed to believe in you most? Your family? I'm Alexis Morgan. I'm 32 years old, and 5 years ago, I walked away from my family's $40 million logistics company to start something they called a fantasy. Last month, I bought their entire business for $87 million. Let me tell you how we got here. Before I tell you this story, and trust me, every word is true, I need to know, where are you watching from? Are you in your office, at home, on your commute? Drop your city in the comments, because this story, it's about the moment when everyone who doubted you has to watch you win. And if you've ever been dismissed, underestimated, or laughed at for your dreams, you're going to want to hear this. It started 5 years ago, December 2020, the Morgan family Christmas party. My father's house in Greenwich, Connecticut, the kind of house that screams old money, even though our family's wealth is only 2 generations deep. My grandfather started with one truck, my father built it into a regional logistics empire. And I was the golden child, MBA from Stanford, 3 years working my way up in the family business, groomed to take over eventually. Everyone thought they knew my future. They were wrong. That night, I stood up during dinner. 23 family members, all of them with stakes in Morgan Logistics, all of them comfortable, secure, protected by the family business. I have an announcement, I said. My father smiled, thought I was going to announce an engagement. I'd been dating Blake, the son of one of his business partners. Perfect merger of families and interests. I'm leaving Morgan Logistics. The smile disappeared. What? My father set down his fork. I'm starting my own company, TechBridge Solutions. We're building an AI-powered platform that will revolutionize supply chain management. Silence. Then my Uncle Gregory started laughing. AI? Supply chain? He was actually laughing. Alexis, honey, that's adorable. You're going to compete with tech giants with what? Your Stanford degree and your trust fund? I'm not using my trust fund. I'm raising capital independently. More laughter. Now my cousins were joining in. This is a phase, my mother said quietly, trying to save face. You're brilliant, sweetheart, but you don't understand how hard it is to build something from nothing. Your grandfather and I built this company with one truck, my father said. His voice had that edge, the one that meant he was done discussing. We know what it takes, and what you're describing, it's a pipe dream. Technology changes every 6 months. You'll be chasing your tail. Then I'll fail on my own terms. You'll fail, period. Gregory again, loving this. Give it 6 months. When you're broke and embarrassed, the job will still be here. We'll welcome you back, wiser. My cousin Michael chimed in. AI supply chain management? Alexis, Amazon has 1,000 engineers working on that. Google, Microsoft, what makes you think you can compete? Because they're building for everyone. I'm building for the companies they ignore, mid-size operations that can't afford enterprise solutions but are too big for manual systems. A niche of a niche. That's not a business, that's a hobby. I looked around the table, at the people I'd grown up with, the people who'd celebrated every achievement, every good grade, every award. Not one person looked supportive, not one. I'm sorry you feel that way, I said quietly. I'm doing this regardless. Then you're a fool, Gregory said. Flat, final. I left that dinner with my head high and my heart breaking, drove back to my apartment in Manhattan, cried for an hour. Then I opened my laptop and got to work. Because here's what they didn't know. I wasn't chasing a fantasy. I'd been building this for 2 years in secret. Market research, algorithm development, partnership discussions. I had Jordan Hayes, the smartest engineer I'd ever met, ready to be my CTO. We had 3 pilot clients lined up. We had a working prototype. What I didn't have was my family's belief, but I was about to prove I didn't need it. Year 1 was hell. Pure, unfiltered hell. I moved from my nice Manhattan apartment to a shoebox in Queens. 1,500 square feet became 400. Doorman became roaches. Jordan and I worked 18-hour days, 7 days a week, no holidays, no breaks. We launched TechBridge Solutions in March 2021. Our first client was a mid-sized pharmaceutical distributor in New Jersey, Thompson Medical Supply. They were hemorrhaging money from inefficient routing and inventory management. We charged them $30,000 for 6 months of service. Our operating costs were $45,000. We lost money from day one, but we proved the concept worked. Their delivery times dropped by 37%, their fuel costs by 22%, their customer satisfaction scores jumped 40 points. Thompson CEO Frank Martinez became our evangelist. "These kids are geniuses," he told everyone. "Saved my business." We got 3 referrals from him, all pharmaceutical distributors, all mid-size, all desperate for solutions they could afford. By month 6, we had 7 clients, revenue of $200,000, operating costs of $300,000, still losing money but growing. Family dinners became torture. "How's the little startup?" Gregory would ask, smirking, always smirking. "Growing? Revenue positive yet?" "We're in growth phase, reinvesting everything." "That's what failing companies say," he'd laugh. Turn to my father. "Richard, remember when we actually made profits? Good times." My mother would try to change the subject. My father would stay silent. Disappointed silence that cut deeper than Gregory's mockery. I stopped going to family dinners in month 8. Couldn't take it anymore. Thanksgiving 2021, my mother called. "You're not coming?" "I'm working, Mom." "On Thanksgiving? Startups don't take holidays." "Honey," her voice cracked, "please, come home. Your father misses you. We all miss you." "Does he? Because last time I saw him, he looked at me like I'd embarrassed the family." "He's worried. We're all worried. We don't want to see you fail." "I'm not failing." "You're losing money. You look exhausted. Blake and I told us you're never available anymore." "Blake and I broke up 2 months ago." Silence. "Why didn't you tell us?" "Because I knew what you'd say, that I'm throwing my life away, that I should come back to Morgan Logistics, that this startup is costing me everything." "Is it?" That question. God, that question. Was it costing me everything? Yes. My relationship, my savings, my connection to my family, sleep, health, any semblance of work-life balance. But I was building something that mattered, something that was mine. "I have to go, Mom. Happy Thanksgiving." I hung up, went back to coding with Jordan. We ate Chinese takeout at our desks. Best Thanksgiving I ever had. Year 2 changed everything. We landed a massive client, Ridgewood Industries, national manufacturer with distribution across 12 states. They'd been using a patchwork of legacy systems that barely talked to each other. Our platform integrated everything, cut their logistics costs by $2 million in the first quarter. They paid us $400,000 for the year. Suddenly, we were profitable. 3 months later, Ridgewood CEO mentioned us at an industry conference. "If you're not using TechBridge, you're leaving money on the table." The floodgates opened. We went from 12 clients to 47 in 6 months. Revenue hit $4 million that year. I hired 15 employees, moved us to a real office in Manhattan, started paying myself an actual salary. Still didn't tell my family. Let them think I was still struggling in my Queens apartment. Because here's the thing about proving people wrong. Timing matters. You don't show your hand until you're holding a royal flush. Year 3, we went national. TechBridge Solutions became TechBridge, rebranded, professionalized, raised $12 million in Series A funding from a venture capital firm in Silicon Valley. Our valuation hit $60 million. $60 million. From pipe dream to $60 million in 3 years. We had 200 clients, 70 employees, offices in New York, Chicago, and Atlanta, and I still hadn't told my family. They knew something was different, couldn't miss it. I showed up to my cousin's wedding in a designer dress, drove a Tesla, looked healthy and rested for the first time in 3 years. "Business must be going well," my mother said carefully. "It is." "How well?" "Well enough." Gregory cornered me at the reception, 3 drinks in. Bold. "I looked up your company, TechBridge, fancy website, big claims. But I called around, talked to people in the industry. They say you're just another tech startup that'll flame out in 5 years. Maybe they're right." So you're admitting it's not sustainable. I'm saying time will tell. He leaned in, whiskey breath. You should come back now, Alexis, while you still can. Your father won't wait forever. He's grooming Michael to take over. Michael, my cousin, the one who'd laughed hardest at Christmas dinner 3 years ago. Good for Michael, I said evenly. Don't be stubborn. You've made your point. You started a company. Congratulations. Now come home before you waste more years on this. I smiled. I appreciate the concern, Uncle Gregory, really, but I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. I walked away before he could respond. Later that night, Jordan called. We got it. Got what? The Johnson contract. They signed. 18 months, $2.4 million. Johnson Manufacturing, one of the biggest mid-size manufacturers in the country. We'd been courting them for 9 months. This was our breakthrough into the big leagues. Send champagne to their CEO. The expensive stuff. Already done. God, I love you. Love you too, boss. We're really doing this. We really are. That year, revenue hit 23 million. Profit hit 7 million. We raised Series B, $40 million. Valuation climbed to $200 million. $200 million. The pipe dream was now worth more than my family's entire logistics company. I found out their numbers by accident. Jordan's brother worked in commercial real estate and mentioned he'd seen Morgan Logistics' financials for a potential property lease. Your family's company's worth about $150 million, right? My heart stopped. Where did you hear that? Public filing. They're listed as the tenant. Why? Just curious. I hung up, sat at my desk, stared at the wall. Our startup, the one they'd called a fantasy, was worth more than their 40-year-old company, and they had no idea. The temptation to tell them was overwhelming, to show up at Christmas and casually mention our valuation, watch their faces. But something stopped me, because I realized I didn't just want to prove them wrong. I wanted something bigger. Year 4, something interesting happened. The logistics industry started imploding. Not completely, not catastrophically, but shifting, disrupting, changing faster than old companies could adapt. COVID had accelerated everything. E-commerce explosion, supply chain chaos, labor shortages, rising fuel costs. Companies that couldn't adapt were drowning. We were thriving, built for chaos. Our AI adjusted routes in real time, optimized inventory based on predictive analytics, helped clients pivot faster than their competitors. Our client base doubled. Revenue hit 52 million. Profit hit 19 million. We raised Series C, $90 million. Valuation climbed to $450 million. My personal stake was worth about $120 million on paper, more than my entire family's net worth combined. And then I got the call. Mitchell Chen, investment banker, specialized in acquisitions in the logistics sector. Ms. Morgan, I represent a client interested in exploring strategic partnerships in the logistics technology space. Your company came highly recommended. Would you be open to a conversation? I got these calls weekly. Always said no. We weren't for sale. But something made me take this meeting. Maybe curiosity, maybe fate. We met at his office in Midtown. Sleek, expensive, the kind of place where billion-dollar deals happen over coffee. I'll be direct, Mitchell said. My client is a private equity firm. They're acquiring mid-sized logistics companies and modernizing them. Your platform is exactly what they need. They're willing to discuss a significant partnership or acquisition. We're not selling. He hasn't mentioned numbers yet. Doesn't matter. I'm not interested in cashing out. What if I told you there's another angle, something that might interest you personally? I'm listening. My firm also handles distressed acquisitions, companies that are struggling, need capital, need modernization, need rescue. He slid a folder across the table. We're monitoring several mid-sized logistics companies in the Northeast. Traditional operations, aging infrastructure, losing market share. Some are ripe for acquisition. I opened the folder, saw the list of companies. Third one down, Morgan Logistics. My blood went cold. I said, this one, pointing, keeping my voice steady. Tell me about this one. Morgan Logistics, family-owned, been around 40 years. Good reputation, but falling behind technologically. Revenue declining, 3% last year, projected 5% this year. Aging client base, they've approached several investors about capital infusion. They're looking for money? They're looking for survival. The industry is changing faster than they can adapt. They've tried updating their systems, but it's patchwork, inefficient. They're bleeding money. I sat back, processing. My family's company, the one they'd built for 40 years, the one they'd told me I was crazy to leave. It was failing, and they'd never mentioned it, never reached out, never admitted they might have been wrong about technology, about AI, about the future. What would an acquisition look like? I asked. Depends on the acquirer. If it's a PE firm, they'd strip it for parts, modernize, probably lay off half the staff. If it's a strategic buyer, he paused. If it's someone who understands both the traditional logistics business and the technology, they could save it, make it stronger. My mind raced. I could buy my family's company, actually buy it, own the business that had defined the Morgan name for 40 years, become my father's boss, my uncle's boss. The irony was delicious. The revenge would be perfect. But was I really that petty? Yes, I was. I want to explore this, I said, but anonymously. They can't know it's me, not yet. Mitchell smiled, the smile of a man who loves corporate chess. I had a feeling you'd say that. Let me guess, you have history with Morgan Logistics? I could say that. This is going to be fun. The next 6 months were the most carefully orchestrated period of my life. Mitchell created a shell company, Meridian Holdings LLC, registered in Delaware. No obvious connection to me or TechBridge. We approached Morgan Logistics through back channels, investment banker to CFO, professional, impersonal. My mother took the meeting. I got the update from Mitchell weekly. They're interested but cautious. Their CFO, is asking good questions. Due diligence is thorough. What are their numbers looking like? Worse than we thought. Revenue down 8% year over year. 2 major clients left for competitors with better technology. They're hemorrhaging cash trying to upgrade systems that are already obsolete. What's the company worth? Fair market value, maybe 80 million. But in their current condition with projected continued decline, we could acquire for 65, maybe 70. Less than half what they'd been worth 5 years ago when I left. The company my father had spent 40 years building was crumbling, and I was the only one who could save it. The irony wasn't lost on me. Make an offer, I said. 75 million, fair but firm, structured as mostly cash with some earnout based on performance. They'll want to know who's behind Meridian. Not yet. Tell them the principal is a private investor in the logistics technology space. Emphasize that we want to preserve the company, not strip it. That should ease concerns. It did. 3 weeks later, Mitchell called. They've accepted preliminary terms. We're moving to formal due diligence. They want to meet the principal. Not yet. Alexis, they're going to require it eventually. You can't buy a $75 million company anonymously. I know, but not yet. Let's get further along. Lock them in, then reveal. You're enjoying this immensely. I was. God help me. I was enjoying every second. Every conference call where my mother discussed financials, not knowing her daughter was on the other end of the acquisition. Every email from my father's assistant scheduling meetings with Meridian representatives. Every step closer to the moment when I'd walk into that boardroom and reveal myself. But I was also terrified. What if they backed out when they found out it was me? What if they'd rather let the company die than sell to their daughter who'd betrayed them? What if this blew up in my face spectacularly? Jordan cornered me one night, late. Office empty except us. You know you're playing with fire, right? I'm aware. This isn't just business anymore. It's personal, emotional, family. It's always been personal. Yeah, but now you're about to own them, literally. Have you thought about what that means? Every day. And I think they need to understand that the pipe dream they mocked is now the only thing keeping their legacy alive. That's harsh. They were harsh first. She studied me. Is this revenge or rescue? Can it be both? I don't know. Can it? I didn't have an answer. The due diligence phase revealed everything. Morgan Logistics was in worse shape than I'd thought. Outdated systems, aging workforce resistant to change, client satisfaction scores dropping, 3 major clients in negotiations with competitors. If someone didn't intervene soon, the company would be worthless in 2 years. My father had to know this, had to be watching his life's work crumbling. And yet, he'd never called me, never reached out, never admitted that maybe, just maybe, I'd been right about technology. Pride. Stubborn, destructive pride. We finalized terms in November, 6 months after initial contact. 75 million, 60 million cash, 15 million in earnout over 3 years based on performance metrics. My mother signed off, my father signed off, Gregory signed off. They were selling their company to save it, to an anonymous buyer they believed would preserve their legacy. They had no idea. The closing was scheduled for December 20th, 5 years to the day after I'd announced my departure at Christmas dinner. The universe has a sense of humor. Mitchell called with final details. They're requesting a face-to-face meeting with the principal before signing, standard practice for family businesses. They want assurance that their legacy is in good hands. Agreed. When do you want to reveal? At the closing, not before. I want them there, committed, ready to sign. Then I walk in. Dramatic. They called my dream a fantasy. They laughed. They dismissed me. They deserve dramatic. Your family is going to lose their minds. I know. I couldn't wait. December 20th arrived like Judgment Day. I barely slept the night before, kept playing out scenarios, their reactions, the words I'd say, the look on Gregory's face when he realized. Put on my best suit, Tom Ford, charcoal gray, power suit, war paint. Jordan texted, "You sure about this?" Me, "Too late to back out now." Her, "Not too late, you could send someone else, keep yourself hidden." Me, "What's the fun in that?" Her, "This is either going to be your greatest triumph or your biggest regret." Me, "Only one way to find out." The closing was at Morgan Logistics headquarters, the building I'd worked in for 3 years, the office where I'd learned the business, where I'd once believed my future was assured. Walking back in felt surreal. The receptionist didn't recognize me. I'd changed my hair, lost the young, eager look. Now I was polished, powerful, different. Alexis Morgan for the Meridian closing. She checked her list. Conference room A, 3rd floor. They're expecting you. My old floor, my old conference room. Perfect. I took the elevator. Each floor a memory, each ding of the elevator a heartbeat. 3rd floor. Deep breath. Walked down the hallway. Saw them through the glass conference room walls. My father, mother, Gregory, their attorney, their accountant, Mitchell and his team already seated on one side of the table. Empty chair at the head of the table. For me. My hand was shaking as I reached for the door handle. 5 years. 5 years of building, proving, grinding, succeeding, all leading to this moment. I opened the door, walked in. Everyone looked up. My mother's face went white. My father stood up so fast his chair fell backwards. Gregory's mouth literally dropped open. What is this?" my father stammered. "Hello, Dad." Walked to the empty chair, sat down. "I'm the principal of Meridian Holdings. I'm here to buy your company." Silence. Complete, absolute silence. You could have heard a pin drop in that conference room. My mother found her voice first. "Alexis, you're Meridian?" Surprise. "This is a joke, Gregory," red-faced, furious. "This is some kind of sick joke." "It's not a joke. Check the paperwork. I'm the sole owner of Meridian Holdings. I'm the buyer, and you've already agreed to terms." My father was still standing, staring at me like I was a stranger. You've been behind this the whole time?" "For 6 months, yes." "Why?" "Because you need someone to save this company, and I'm the only one who can." "This is insane." Gregory was pacing now. "Richard, we're not doing this. We're not selling our family business to her." "I didn't abandon you. I left to build something better, and I did. My company is worth $450 million. This company, the one you told me I was crazy to leave, is worth $75 million and declining. You need this sale. You need my expertise. You need me." We need you? Gregory laughed, harsh, bitter. We built this company 40 years, and you think 5 years with some tech startup makes you qualified to run it? I don't think I know, because I've been studying your financials for 6 months. You're hemorrhaging clients. Your technology is 15 years out of date. You're losing money every quarter. If someone doesn't modernize this company in the next year, it'll be worthless. I looked at my father. You know I'm right. That's why you agreed to sell. He sat down slowly, looking older than I'd ever seen him. I thought Meridian was a professional investment firm, someone who understood legacy, who would preserve what we built. I am that someone. I understand this company better than anyone. I grew up in it, worked in it, left to learn what it needed to survive, and now I'm back to save it. Save it? My mother's voice cracked. Or destroy it, turn it into some tech experiment? I'm going to do what you should have done 5 years ago. Integrate AI, modernize the systems, retain the best people, and let go of the ones resisting change. Your client satisfaction is 62%. That's catastrophic. I can fix it. By firing people? My father asked quietly. By erasing everything we built? By saving what you built? Dad, I'm not the enemy here. I'm the solution. Silence stretched out. My father stared at the table. My mother had tears in her eyes. Gregory looked ready to explode. We need a moment, my father finally said. Family only. Mitchell stood. We'll step out. Take your time. He and his team left. The door clicked shut. Just us, the Morgan family, in the conference room where we'd celebrated 40 years of success, now deciding if we'd survive the next 40 minutes. Say what you need to say, I said quietly. What I need to say? Gregory exploded. You ambushed us, manipulated us, made us think some professional investor was going to save our company when really it was you, plotting your revenge. This isn't revenge. Then what is it? It's a business decision, and yes, a personal one, but not revenge. If I wanted revenge, I'd let you fail, let the company collapse, watch everything you built turn to dust. But I'm here, offering fair value, offering to preserve your legacy. That's not revenge. Fair value? He laughed. We were worth twice this 5 years ago. 5 years ago, you were profitable. Now you're not. Fair value reflects current reality, not past glory. Don't lecture me about reality, he snarled. You left us, abandoned the family business for some fantasy. It wasn't a fantasy, that's the point. Everything you said would fail succeeded. Everything you mocked works. Your pipe dream comment? That pipe dream is now worth more than this company ever was. So this is about rubbing our faces in it, proving you were right? No, this is about saving what you built, whether you believe it or not. My father finally spoke, voice quiet, defeated. Why didn't you tell us? I looked at him, really looked at him. Would you have believed me if I'd walked in 6 months ago and said, I want to buy your company? Would you have taken me seriously? Or would you have laughed and told me to come back when I had real experience? He didn't answer, because we both knew the truth. I didn't tell you because I needed you to see the offer objectively, evaluate it based on merit, not on your feelings about me leaving. And you did. You accepted terms. You agreed it was fair. You believed Meridian could save your company. I paused. I'm still that person. I'm still Meridian. Nothing changed except you now know who I am. My mother wiped her eyes. You'd been planning this for months, watching us struggle, knowing we were failing, and you didn't say anything, didn't offer to help, just waited until we were desperate enough to sell. That hit harder than I expected. You're right, I said quietly. I did, and I'm not proud of that part. But Mom, you never called me either. Dad never called. Gregory never called. None of you reached out when things got bad. You struggled in silence because you were too proud to admit that maybe I'd been right, that maybe leaving wasn't crazy, that maybe technology was the future. So this is our fault? Gregory demanded. No, It's everyone's fault. We're all stubborn. We're all proud. We're all too damaged to just talk to each other like normal people. I stood up, walked to the window, looked out at the parking lot below, saw my old parking spot, the one I'd used for 3 years. When I left, you told me I was a fool, that I'd fail, that I'd come back begging for my job within 6 months. We were worried, my mother said. You were dismissive. There's a difference. I turned to face them. I needed you to believe in me, or at least support me. Instead, you mocked me at every family gathering, every phone call, every interaction. You made it clear that my choice was stupid and I was wasting my life. We didn't mean, yes, you did. And you know what? It hurt. It hurt so badly that I stopped coming around, stopped calling, stopped being part of this family because I couldn't stand the constant judgment. Tears now. I hadn't planned on crying, but there they were. But it also motivated me. Every time Gregory laughed, every time you looked disappointed, every time someone asked when I'd get a real job, I worked harder, stayed later, pushed further, because I was going to prove you wrong if it killed me. And you did. You proved us wrong, spectacularly. So why does it feel so empty? The question hung in the air. Because that was the truth, wasn't it? I'd won, built a massive company, made millions, was about to buy my family's business. Everything I'd worked for, everything I dreamed about. And standing in that conference room, watching my father look broken and my mother cry, I felt hollow. I don't want your company to fail. I never did. I want to save it, modernize it, make it thrive again. But I also need you to understand something. What? My father asked. I need you to admit you were wrong. That's part of this, not as revenge, but as closure. I need to hear you say I wasn't crazy, that my dream wasn't a fantasy, that I made the right choice. Long silence. Gregory stood up. I'm not doing this. I'm not selling to her. Richard, back out. Take the penalty. We'll find another buyer. There isn't another buyer, Mitchell said from the doorway. He'd come back in. I've been in this business 20 years. I know every potential acquirer in this space. Nobody else is coming. You're declining too fast. This is your only offer, your only chance to preserve anything. Gregory looked at my father. Richard, don't do this. My father stared at me for a long moment. Then he said the words I'd waited 5 years to hear. You were right. We were wrong. Your startup, it wasn't crazy. It was brilliant, and we should have supported you. My mother started crying harder. Gregory walked out, slammed the door. My father sat down, looked exhausted. I'm sorry, he said quietly, for not believing in you, for not supporting you when you needed it, for being so certain you'd fail that I couldn't see you succeeding. I sat back down across from him. Why? Why were you so sure I'd fail? Because I was terrified. He looked up, eyes red. You were my daughter, my brilliant, talented daughter, and you were taking this enormous risk. I watched my father struggle for years building this company, the sleepless nights, the near bankruptcies, the stress that probably killed him early. I didn't want that for you. So you told me I'd fail? I thought if I could convince you it was impossible, you'd stay safe, stay here, stay where I could protect you. I didn't need protection. I needed belief. I know that now. My mother reached across the table, took my hand. We're proud of you, so proud. What you've built, it's extraordinary. And I'm sorry we couldn't say that sooner. I'm sorry we let our fear and pride get in the way of supporting our daughter. The words I'd needed for 5 years. Why did they feel so bittersweet? What happens now? My father asked. Now we close the deal. I buy Morgan Logistics. We integrate TechBridge systems, modernize operations. In 12 months, this company will be profitable again. In 24 months, it'll be growing. Your legacy will be preserved. And the employees? I'll evaluate everyone. Some will need to go. The ones resisting change, the ones who can't adapt. But most will stay, especially the veterans who know the business. I'll just give them better tools. And us? My mother asked. What happens to us? I'd thought about this for months, played out different scenarios. You retire, officially, with generous severance packages. You've earned it. 40 years of building this company, you should get to enjoy the next chapter without the stress. And Gregory? Gregory too, though I suspect he won't go quietly. He won't, my father confirmed. He's going to fight this. Tell everyone in the family what you did. Make you the villain. Let him. I'm not afraid of family gossip anymore. Mitchell cleared his throat. We should proceed if everyone's ready. We have documents to sign. My father looked at me. You really think you can save this company? I know I can. I've been preparing for this since the day I left. That's a long time to plan revenge. It's not revenge, it's redemption for both of us. He smiled. Small, sad. When did you get so wise? When I stopped listening to people who told me what I couldn't do. We signed the papers. Every page felt surreal. My signature, my father's signature, my mother's. $75 million. Morgan Logistics was mine. The company I'd grown up in, the company I'd left, the company that had defined my family for 40 years. Now mine to save or destroy or rebuild. The weight of it was crushing. After the signing, after the lawyers left, after the handshakes and the awkward congratulations, I stood alone in the conference room, looked out at the office. My office now. Employees who didn't know yet that their company had changed hands, that their CEO's daughter, the one who'd left 5 years ago, was now their boss. Tomorrow, I'd tell them. Tomorrow, I'd announce the acquisition. Tomorrow, I'd start the hard work of transformation. Tonight, I just stood there, processing. My phone buzzed. Jordan. Well, it's done. We own Morgan Logistics. How do you feel? I have no idea. Ask me in a year. Fair enough. Drinks tonight to celebrate? Definitely. I left the office around 8 p.m., building mostly empty. Security guard nodded as I passed. Night, Miss Morgan. He had no idea which Miss Morgan I was now. Drove home to my apartment in Tribeca, the nice one, the one I earned. Poured a glass of wine, sat on my balcony, looked out at the city. 5 years, from mocked startup founder to owner of my family's company, from the crazy daughter to the one who saved the family legacy. The vindication should have felt sweeter. Instead, it just felt complicated. Because winning isn't simple when the people you beat are the people you love. The announcement went out the next morning. Morgan Logistics has been acquired by Meridian Holdings, a subsidiary of TechBridge Solutions. Founder and CEO Alexis Morgan will assume leadership of the combined organization. Richard Morgan, Helen Morgan, and Gregory Morgan will retire effective January 1st. The industry exploded. Headlines everywhere. Tech founder acquires family business after 5-year feud. Morgan heiress buys out parent's company. AI startup saves traditional logistics firm. My phone didn't stop ringing. Press, investors, competitors, everyone wanted the story. I gave one interview to Forbes. This isn't about revenge, I told them. This is about evolution. My family built an incredible company. I'm honored to continue that legacy with modern tools. Professional, diplomatic, boring. The truth was messier, but the truth wasn't for public consumption. The first month was brutal. Integrating systems, evaluating employees, making hard decisions. I had to let 23 people go, most of them long-term employees, people I'd known growing up. Each termination felt like a betrayal. But the company was bleeding money. Tough choices were necessary. The remaining employees were suspicious, resentful. I was the boss's daughter who'd left and come back to take over. Not exactly a trust-building narrative. I held town halls, explained the vision, showed them the technology, promised transparency. Slowly, very slowly, they came around. When the first quarter results came in, everything changed. We'd cut costs by 30%, increased efficiency by 45%, Client satisfaction scores jumped from 62% to 78%. We were profitable again, not just surviving, thriving. The employees who'd been skeptical became believers. The ones who'd resisted change started asking how they could learn the new systems. 6 months after the acquisition, Morgan Logistics was transformed. Revenue up, costs down, client retention at 93%. New clients coming in faster than we could onboard. The family legacy wasn't just preserved, it was enhanced. My father called, first time in months. I saw the quarterly report. And? And it's extraordinary. You did in 6 months what we couldn't do in 5 years. I had better tools and the benefit of not being emotionally attached to the old ways. Still, I'm impressed. Your grandfather would be proud. That hit me harder than I expected. You think so? I know so. He built this company from nothing. You saved it from becoming nothing. That's the same spirit, same drive. We talked for an hour. First real conversation we'd had in years. Talked about the business, about the changes, about his retirement, about what came next for both of us. I'm sorry I didn't believe in you, he said before hanging up. I should have. You were always the smartest one in the family. I got it from you. Now, you got it from your mother, but you got the stubbornness from me. I laughed. First real laugh I'd had in months. Thanks, Dad. Thank you, Alexis, for saving our legacy, even after we didn't deserve it. Gregory never called, never reached out. I heard through family gossip that he was bitter, telling anyone who'd listen that I manipulated them, stolen the company. Let him talk. I'd stopped caring about his opinion years ago. My mother and I had lunch monthly, rebuilt our relationship slowly, carefully. Are you happy? She asked one day. I think so. It's different than I imagined, harder, more complicated. Revenge usually is. It wasn't revenge. Wasn't it? A little? I thought about it. Maybe, in the beginning, but it became something else, something more important. What? Proof. Proof that I was right, that taking risks pays off, that following your vision, even when everyone doubts you, can lead somewhere extraordinary. She smiled, sad but genuine. You got your proof, at quite a cost. Was it worth it? Was it worth it, the 5 years of struggle, the broken family relationships, the loneliness, the doubt? Yes, I said finally, because I know what I'm capable of now, and nobody can ever take that away from me. That was 2 years ago. Today, Morgan Logistics, now Morgan Tech Bridge Logistics, is one of the fastest growing companies in our sector. Revenue hit $200 million last year. We employ 340 people across 12 states. We've acquired 2 smaller companies, integrated them seamlessly. Our technology platform is considered best in class. My personal net worth hit $400 million last year. Made Forbes 30 Under 30, then Forbes 400. The crazy startup is now a case study at Stanford Business School. I guest lecture there sometimes, tell students about risk and resilience and the power of proving people wrong. Always get asked the same question. Was it worth it, sacrificing family relationships for success? My answer, I didn't sacrifice family relationships. They did, by not believing in me, by choosing their fear over my potential. I just refused to let their limitations become mine. Some students love it. Some think I'm cold. I'm okay with both reactions, because here's what I learned. You can't live your life for other people's approval, not even family, especially not family. The people who love you should support your dreams, not mock them, should lift you up, not tear you down, should believe in you, especially when the path seems impossible. My family didn't do that, so I did it for myself. And yes, there's satisfaction in proving them wrong, in walking into that boardroom and showing them exactly how wrong they were. But you know what's better than that? Proving yourself right. Knowing that you bet on yourself and won. That you took the risk everyone said was crazy and made it work. That you built something from nothing while everyone predicted failure. That's the real victory. Not their shock, not their apology, not even buying their company, just knowing, absolutely knowing that you were right to believe in yourself. So I'm here now, talking to you, wherever you are, whatever you're facing. Tell me, where are you watching from? Drop your city in the comments. Let's build a community of people who bet on themselves. What part of this story resonated with you? The family dismissal, the grinding years of building, the acquisition, the confrontation? I want to hear your story. Have you been dismissed by people you love, told your dreams were crazy, laughed at for taking risks? Share it in the comments because your words might inspire someone else to keep going. And if you're the person who needs to hear this right now, if you're standing at the edge of a decision, wondering whether to play it safe or take the leap, listen. The people who doubt you, they're projecting their own fears, their own limitations, their own failures. Don't let their limits become yours. Take the risk, build the business, chase the dream. Even if everyone tells you you're crazy, especially if everyone tells you you're crazy. Because 5 years from now, when you're standing in your own metaphorical boardroom, signing your own metaphorical acquisition papers, you'll remember this moment, this choice, and you'll be grateful you were brave enough to bet on yourself. My relationship with my family is complicated now. Better than it was. Not perfect. Maybe it never will be. My father and I have dinner monthly. Talk business, talk life. We found a new rhythm. My mother and I are close again. She even joined my board of advisors, brings 40 years of financial expertise. We're actually stronger together now than we were before. Gregory and I don't speak. Maybe someday, maybe never. I'm at peace with either outcome. Because I learned something important through all of this. You can't control other people's reactions to your success. You can only control your own actions. I chose to build, to persevere, to prove myself right rather than prove them wrong. And that made all the difference. Hit that subscribe button if this story inspired you. Like this video if it gave you permission to chase your own crazy idea. Comment and tell me what you're building. I read every single one and respond when I can. We're creating a community here. Entrepreneurs, risk takers, people who refuse to let others define their potential. Join us. This is Alexis Morgan, reminding you the best revenge isn't proving people wrong. It's proving yourself right. Your family, your friends, your colleagues, they might doubt you. They might laugh. They might call your dreams crazy. Let them. Because 5 years from now, you won't remember their doubt. You'll only remember your determination. My father told me recently, your grandfather used to say the Morgan family builds things, legacy things, things that last. I'm building too, not just companies, but proof that the next generation can honor the past while creating the future, that we can respect where we came from while blazing our own paths, that we can be both grateful for our heritage and bold enough to exceed it. So go build your thing, chase your crazy idea, bet on yourself when nobody else will. And when they ask how you did it, when they finally admit they were wrong and you were right, you can look them in the eye and say, I told you so. But say it with grace, say it with humility, because the best victories aren't about making others feel small. They're about making yourself feel invincible. Now go, build, create, prove yourself right. Your boardroom moment is waiting, and I believe in you, even if nobody else does yet. This is Alexis Morgan, signing off, but not giving up, never giving up, and neither should you.